But as you can tell, you and I were a couple of funny racist. I mean, a couple of funny guys. Uh, but I've always want to know this question about comics who are like on the rise in New York City. Everybody honestly should and does want to be on Saturday Night Live. I don't know why they wouldn't, but is the but in my opinion, I'm not. You're not saying this. I am. It's not funny, and it seems like once somebody gets on Saturday Night Live, it's great for their bank account. But as the money goes up, their comedy skill is fucking uh, AIDS bombed or China bombed or whatever we're going to call it. So talk to me about things like that. Like, how is it for you as a comic knowing that you kind of, it would really help you to get on SNL and on these shitty talk shows, but at the end of the day, you may lose credibility?
Well, I mean, the first half of it is that I don't. That wasn't for me. That was never like a goal. Like for me, I don't know if you know who Tom Green is, but
Yeah.
I was really huge into like guys like that. Ali G, like Sacha Baron Cohen, was like huge for me. And I grew up playing in bands, right? So I wasn't even into comedy. Like before I ever did stand up, I actually had TV shows because of my band. So I kind of grew up like thinking Jackass and stuff with like that was cool. And that's so I had a couple TV shows in Canada doing stuff like that. So to me, I never really like I like Adam Sandler and David Spade, but I never moved to New York being like and then now I'm 34, right? So for me, I feel like I'm almost a little old to do that job. So if I moved here when I was 25, I might have been like, oh, that'd be a dream. But I never had that where like SNL would be a dream for me. So out of the gate, I guess I never thought like that. I kind of came here to like kind of do what I did in Canada and sell TV shows and, get in the club scene and then build specials, build an audience, do that sort of stuff. I guess so. I don't care. But the second part is, yeah, SNL just became too much of an institution and they kind of they're too political to be funny right now. They kind of just became the mainstream, whereas like originally they were sort of the counterculture show. But I think that Michael Che is still really funny. I'm friends with Shane Gillis. I was here with all that stuff, so that was a interesting thing. That was like the month I moved here. That whole Shane Gillis thing shook down, where he got the job and then got fired 2 weeks later. That was a wild time, and he's one of the funniest guys around right now. So I mean, I bet you he would have been really good on it. So
He would, but I also like that there's a girl on there, abroad with tits. Melissa Villian Essio or whatever the fuck her name is. I think she's really good, but I tell you who I hate on there.
Kyle Mooney is very funny too.
He's very funny and sexy. I'd fuck him.
I remember his like old school YouTube videos like back in the day before he was ever on SNL that I thought were funny.
But I tell you who I really don't like on Saturday Night Live, and this is me saying this is not Ryan saying it.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one likes Pete Davidson.
What the? But here's one of the things, and this is something I always talk about. He speaks openly about his mental health problems and dealing with depression and all.
Yeah,
this
he's kind of emo.
But here's my thing. During his time of this dark, depressing year, he dated Ariana Grande. He fucked Kate Beckinsale. He wrote a film and filmed it for Judd Apatow in the lead. He wrote and performed and recorded a stand-up comedy special. He's in the Suicide Squad too, and he's on Saturday Night Live, all while being completely depressed. So the question I've got is, do you think that there's a chance, and I'm just saying, he's lying about his mental health problems? Because if, can you imagine going, oh, I've had the worst day of my life. What happened, Pete? Kate Beckinsale, she tried to give me a third blowjob.
I think they lean into it, I mean, like again, I come from the music scene where it was like, how many bands that's their whole shtick of how like tortured and depressed they are, right? So he's kind of leaning into that rock and roll thing where he goes, oh, I'm just, I'm this like tortured artist, and it kind of makes him sexy in a certain way, and he's kind of pandering to like girls a little more than he is to guys, right? So I think that girls kind of eat that shit up, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's so depressed. Girls love that shit. So I think he's just trying to be kind of like the rock star hot guy, and I think that's a product of that shit. Tortured artist.
I think it's
kind of a lying as much as like you just create your own identity and live it, right? I don't know. It's stuff. Who knows whether it's at some point you create this fucking identity and live in it. Like, is it real or is it fake? I don't know.
But I think that the fact that he's showing this kind of a sign of ungratefulness, where it's like, you can't go get
spoiled, like a little bit of spoiled rich kid energy.
Yeah, it's like he's got so much great stuff, but he's gone from nothing to Saturday Night Live to playing the lead in the Judd Apatow film in a really short period of time. And
dude, Eminem is still complaining on his albums. He's the richest rapper in the world, and he's still complaining. So I don't think if you're gonna be the emo guy, you're always gonna be the emo guy.
I'm gonna say it. Eminem stinks, and there's always stank.
No, he didn't always stink. He got worse as the time went on. But dude, when he first came out with like the Marshall Mathers EP as a kid from fucking North America, anyway, he was pretty cool.
But see, the problem I have is because I'm 35.
I'm 34. Yeah.
You are beautiful, and you have lovely eyes. But
thank you.
because I'm 35. I was alive when Wu-Tang had a debut single, and I was.
When who? Say that again. When who did?
Wu-Tang.
Oh, Wu-Tang. Yeah.
And I was alive for the whole of fucking Tupac's run.
Yeah.
So when you get hip hop like that, when I was growing up, to then you get, please stand up. Please stand up. It's like, no, that's shite. That he's a fucking wanker. He can't grow facial hair, and his hair is shit.
Hey man, I was a punk rock dude. I came up on fucking the first. I was more like the first band, the rap bands I was into was like Rage Against the Machine and Beastie Boys. So it's not even like I was a big Eminem fan. I just thought it was kind of. I thought it was kind of cool. But I was into punk rock. I was into like Rancid and like Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, if you know who that is. I was into a lot of that stuff. Propaganda, that was a big one for me. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But I wasn't a big like Wu-Tang guy.
But
I'm not as cool. I'm not as cool and hip as you.
Hey, I'm wearing a Captain America shirt, and I've got Avengers pajama bottoms on. The only thing cool about
Are you guys allowed to leave your house? Are you supposed to leave your house, or what's going on with all that?
Yeah, we could, but I have no friends, so I have nothing to do anyway.
Nice. I'm supposed to stay here. Like everyone yells at you if you leave your house.
Well, people do that to me anyway, but that's been happening for years.
Have they shut down like stand-up shows there? Has that happened?
Well, they don't need to, because nobody over here is funny. But they've shut down the bars, which is, I don't know if you've seen any of the footage on Twitter, but there's a lot of people here are taking drugs and getting drunk, then going out and getting into fights and stuff. So it's kind of chaos.
Shit, and they're like not even going to a bar, just hitting the streets and fighting.
Yeah, no, they're literally going out they're getting drunk and then going out to the shop to buy bread. It's like, do it in the opposite order. But,
I'll tell you, dude, the other day, like last 2 days, I was just fucking had nothing to do. So I just like hanging out with a chick, getting drunk. I'm like, all weekend, what are you going to do? I don't know. Everything's canceled.